Well, the rumours were around last night. It was confirmed this morning. The 48 letters had gone in to the chairman of the 1922 committee, who at 7:30 this morning went up Downing Street to say to the Prime Minister that she faced a vote of confidence in her leadership of the party. And without further ado, they moved to have it tonight. The polls have been open now for 4 minutes. And I'm asking you tonight whether you think she'll win. Must admit, I was really rather elated this morning. I went on with Nick Ferrari just after 8 o'clock. I thought, wow, the sun's shining and who knows, but tomorrow morning we could have a real Brexiteer Prime Minister. I was feeling really chipper, and then I began to think, hang on a second, there's 130 MPs on the payroll in some form of ministerial position, and it took actually the ERG and the rebels a very long time to get 48 votes. So I began to think to myself, actually, I think she's probably going to win. Well, somebody who's been in the corridors of Westminster over the last couple of hours and knows what's going on is LBC's political editor, Theo Usherwood. Hi, Theo.
Good evening, Nigel. I've just stepped out of the corridor of power, the committee corridor where Tory MPs have been meeting from the 1922 committee. Absolute box office stuff. This was a packed meeting. They were squeezing them in like one of those metro trains on the jet in Japan, making sure the whips getting everybody in to ask questions of Theresa May. She gave a short speech. Now, there's a bit of confusion because the story of the day has been, in order to persuade sceptical MPs, those who have criticised her leadership, that she will not lead the party into the next general election. Her spokesman said at lunchtime that this vote tonight was not about picking a leader to fight the next ballot at the polls. So Theresa May goes into this meeting and says, and has said, according to the MP George Freeman, that once she has delivered an orderly Brexit, she will step aside for the election of a new leader to lead the reunification and renewal that the party needs. Full stop. Respect. Full stop.
But that could be. Could be any point, couldn't it, in the next few years?
Absolutely. Now, of course, this has led to the narrative that today is a little bit like the Curry House plot in September 2006, before the Labour Party conference from Gordon Brown supporters, the likes of Tom Watson, Ed Balls, to secure a date for Tony Blair to step down. And of course he did, and the following summer, having served 10 years as Prime Minister, Tony Blair handed over the reins in number 10 to Gordon Brown. But the question is, if Theresa May cannot get her deal through Parliament on the current arithmetic, where the Conservative Party do not have an overall majority, does she take the Conservative Party into another general election in order to change that arithmetic? Now, I've been speaking to,
and that would mean then she could have a general election before March the 29th.
Well, or before Brexit has been delivered. In all probability, Nigel, you'd have to extend Article 50, and then you would have a general election. Now, Marcus Fish, the MP, a member of the ERG, said that Labour would hammer the Conservatives if that was the case, because Theresa May has staked her whole credibility, her whole prime ministerialship on the fact that she is going to deliver Brexit. And if she goes back to the country, Jeremy Corbyn will win. And that is the fear. So tonight, I know the bookies have been saying that Theresa May is going to win this, and we're going to move back to Brussels for the European Council summit, and nothing to see here. But just a word of warning, this may swing back the other way against Theresa May.
OK, all right, Theo, thank you, and please keep us up to date with any developments. Well, that's Theo's view, my view, and I love being a contrarian. I love going against the flow. I love making predictions that nobody's ever thought of. But actually, I reckon she gets 200 and the Oppo get 100. I reckon she wins pretty easily. That's my view. What is your view? 0345 6060 973. Let's go straight to the callers. Let's speak to Joan in Putney. Good evening, Joan.
Oh, good evening, Nigel. Well, I don't know whether she's going to win or not, but the thing that has bothered me all along, they've said, the Remainers have said it's all about the politics of the Conservative Party. Well, it's not, because it's the Remainers who have made the trouble, and all Jacob Rees-Mogg and leavers like me wanted, that won the 52%, was 100% of democracy, as would have been given to Remain. We want 100% leave. If Remain had won, they would have had 100% Remain, wouldn't they?
You know, Joan, what is so remarkable about this, it isn't just about promising to deliver on the referendum. It is the Conservative Party manifesto. And Jacob would say, and the ERG would say, all they are doing is asking for that manifesto to be carried out in practice, to find today the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Philip Hammond, describing Brexiteers as extremists. Joan, let me ask you a different question.
Yes.
If you'd been a Conservative MP and you were there right now about to vote, which way would you go?
I think I would vote for her, because I think when she brings the deal to Parliament, it'll be voted down.
But isn't that ironic?
But the thing that bothers me is they keep on saying, Jeremy Corbyn said today that it is appalling how she has behaved, and it's the politics of the Conservative Party. Well, I would just ask him to remember the antics that went on after the result of the referendum was known, and all those Remainer MPs of all parties who got up in front of the Parliament, who had voted overwhelmingly for this referendum.
I know, Joan.
Betrayed in Parliament.
There's lots of it going on, Joan. Joan, I'm going to run on. Joan. I've got loads of people who want to have their say, including Daniel, who's in Westminster, a new caller. Daniel, is she going to win, and how would you have voted?
I would have voted for her. I think she shows tremendous strength. There's no one really touching her. The Conservative Party is in shambles. I believe that she's got the strongest deal we could get. I mean, there's unquestionable doubt over this backstop issue. I myself am a bit wary of it, but given the fact that there's talk within the Commons of a new vote, a new referendum, I voted to leave, and I should have the same voice as the Leavers, as the Remainers. If they had won, we would have accepted it, and we would have carried on as normal. And what do we do if we have another referendum? And if we then say lose, what do I do?
Daniel, there are lots of ways. There are lots of ways. There are lots of ways this could go, Daniel, and I object to a second referendum. Of course I do. But Daniel, as a Leaver, you know, when the Prime Minister tells us again and again and again, including in her manifesto, we are leaving the customs union, and then she signs us up to a withdrawal agreement that keeps us in the customs union, possibly in perpetuity, does she really deserve your vote?
Yes, and it's a little bit of suck it and see. I would say that you're never going to please 100% of the people 100% of the time. I believe that what she has got on the table, in my position, in my opinion, the free movement of people, the
no guarantee of. There's no guarantee of that, Daniel. There's no guarantee of any of it. It's all a promissory note, Daniel. I respect your opinion. You think she's done the best she can. But interesting, isn't it? Daniel very much buying in to these things she says will happen in years to come. Well, I tell you what, none of that is guaranteed with this agreement. Aaron is calling from Belsize Park, another new caller to the show. Welcome, Aaron.
Hi, Nigel. How are you?
I'm well. So is she going to win?
Absolutely. This morning, I actually downloaded Sky Bet last night just to bet on the Liverpool game. And this morning took the opportunity to put some money on Theresa May winning this vote.
And you'd have got her early this morning. She was, because I look at these things, obviously it's a matter of pure interest, you understand. She was about 3 to 1 on this morning, and like 10 to 1 on about now. Is that about right, Aaron?
Yeah, I got her 9 to 2, I believe. So I waited it out a little bit while my conscience was playing with me. And by the end of PMQ,
buying money there, isn't it?
Yeah, it was, and
it's buying money. It's a mug's game, isn't it?
Yeah, I bet on her to lose just to make sure I make some money now. And I've then placed the guaranteed profit on only between 50 and 99 people voting against her. I just don't see it.
Now, do you know what? I nearly had that bet. I nearly did. But anyway, look, we must get away from my gambling habits. Aaron, let me ask you something, because I think she's going to win comfortably, but I don't want her to. But I'm saying that objectively. Do you think she deserves to win?
I believe that she does deserve to win the vote, because personally, I think, as the Conservative Party, I don't think as a party they actually have a way forward. And I don't think a single person in the Conservative Party would be able to put forward a deal that everybody would be able to agree on. I think off the back of that, I just think I think it's true of the entire House of Commons. I don't think there's ever going to be a majority for anything, which is going to make the next couple of months really, really interesting.
That's why this could drift on a long time. Aaron, great call, thank you. And I think you're going to make money. I have to say, I think you are absolutely getting it right. So for those just tuning in, MPs are voting now. The polls are open between 6 and 8. It is a secret ballot. So, of course, what MPs say they'll do and what they'll actually do could be two very different things. They can be quite a duplicitous crowd. I'm asking you, who do you think will win? And I'm also asking you whether you think she deserves to win. I think she will win. You're listening to The Nigel Farage Show here at LBC at 6:15, and time for the news headlines with Lisa Aziz.
Conservative MPs are voting in a secret ballot on Theresa May's leadership after she told them she wouldn't take the party into the next election. It's understood she has the support of 182 MPs. She needed 159 to stay on as Prime Minister. President Trump's former lawyer has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for crimes including tax evasion, lying to Congress and arranging payments to women who posed a risk to the 2016 campaign. LBC weather, cloudy and windy overnight across Northern Ireland and the southwest of England. A few showers elsewhere, a low of 3 degrees.
LBC Travel, I'm Katie Tyler. There are queues on the M11 northbound from junction 5 for Loughton to junction 7 for Harlow because of an accident. It's stop-start on the A2 eastbound from Bexley Heath to the Bean interchange because of an accident as well. As a result, it's very slow on the M25 clockwise between junction 30 for Lakeside and junction 2 for the Darrenth interchange. It's struggling on Leabridge Road eastbound between the Leabridge roundabout and the Baker's Arms in Walthamstow because of roadworks taking place. And there are further problems in Walthamstow on Black Horse Road. It's looking slow eastbound past the train station because of roadworks as well.
It's back.
And the winner is...
It's
my huge honour to present such an important award tonight.
The Global Awards 2019.
With very.co.uk.
Thank you so very much.
Keep listening for more. LBC.
What do you need to get the very best start in your media career? How about state-of-the-art studios? The very latest technology? Learning from the best minds in the industry? At a school where you can study GCSEs and A-levels alongside the vocational media qualifications you need. Your future is here. The Global Academy, a forward-thinking state school for 14 to 19-year-olds interested in a media career. Visit globalacademy.com to find out more.
You want a loan for your business, Mr. Barrett?
That's the plan.
No problem. Simply fill out this form J9732P.
On it.
And form RSVP. Form SMH. And form BTW. TT. Oh, goodbye, Mr. Barrett.
Not all business loans sound like this. At iWalker, applications are as simple as ABC, and you'll get a decision ASAP. Visit iWalker, that's iwoca.co.uk. iWalker, hassle-free loans for small businesses.
Muscular pain can last all day and night.
Ouch!
And Eurofen's new pain relief can do the same. Introducing the UK's only clinically proven 24-hour ibuprofen patch. It delivers ibuprofen directly to the site of pain for all day and all night pain relief. Nurofen Joint and Muscular Pain Relief Medicated Plaster contains ibuprofen for short-term pain relief of muscle strains and sprains close to the joint of upper or lower limb. Always read the label.
Now's the time to discover that great gift you've been looking for at watchshop.com. You'll see 10,000 top brand watches at great prices, like Hugo Boss, Tommy Hilfiger, and Casio. You'll also come across our latest Christmas offers, as well as noticing you'll get free next day delivery on orders over £60. So there's never been a better time to find the perfect gift at watchshop.com. Offer ends 23rd of December. Excludes smartwatches. Orders placed Saturday will be delivered Monday. Terms and conditions apply.
What's your M&S Christmas favourite? The Collection Belgian chocolate and cherry dessert. Voted best centrepiece dessert in the BBC Good Food Christmas Taste Awards. Serves 10, only £20, only at M&S. Order yours online by 5 p.m. Saturday the 15th of December, before they're all gone. Selected stores only.
The Nigel Farage Show on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
There's a very exclusive election going on right now to decide the future of our Prime Minister. The only people eligible are Conservative members of Parliament, and that includes two who'd had the whip withdrawn, who've got the whip back today. I wonder which way they're going to vote in this contest. I'm asking you whether you think Theresa May is going to win. I believe she'll win pretty heavily. Listen, no one knows, because what people say and what they do can be two different things. I'm asking you, who do you think will win? But I'm also asking you, if we assume that Theresa May is going to win, does she actually deserve to? Adrian says, I don't trust a single word Theresa May says. Sadly, Adrian, I'm in that camp too. Neil says, to me, if Mrs May wins tonight, there will not be a Conservative Party at the next general election. Well, there will be, Neil, but there might be two of them, because this actually, the power of this issue could split them. And if you go back through Conservative history, 3 or 4 times in the last couple of hundred years, there have been issues like this that have split them so deeply, it's kept them out of office for up to a couple of decades. And this feels a bit like that to me. Owen is calling from Birmingham. Good evening, Owen.
Good evening, Nigel.
So do you agree with me that she's going to win?
I hope she doesn't. I mean, if you look back at the last few times that this has happened, and we've seen Conservative Prime Ministers take to the secret ballot, everyone said, oh, they're going to be fine, and then they lost. So
Mrs. Thatcher.
Fingers crossed that happens again today.
Yeah, Mrs. Thatcher. And I was thinking this, Owen, because I'm in the same camp as you. I'm not saying she'll win, folks, because I wanted to win. I'm just being objective about what I think. Owen, I thought about that. You know, Mrs. Thatcher didn't quite get the majority that she needed. Yeah, and then the men in grey suits came for Thatcher, didn't they? One by one, they filed in. They filed into the Cabinet Office and told her that the game was up. But I don't see the men in grey suits doing that. I look at the fairly characterless group of people she has around her in the cabinet. I just can't see them behaving like that, Owen.
Well, hopefully, you know, I am hoping that she's going to go, and then the next thing we're going to see is the supply and confidence that she's reached with the DUP fall through the floor. We're going to see a no confidence motion. We're going to see a general election, and then we're going to see a different government in that can do the job of exiting the European Union properly.
And who could do that, Owen?
Jeremy Corbyn, his lot. I know you're going to disagree with me on this one.
What? Owen, I don't know what his policy is, Owen. I'm really confused. I mean, it looks like he wants to sign us back up to the single market and customs union, but sort of reframe it slightly.
Well, the issues we've been having with the European Union is they've turned out to be a lot of a bigger mouthful than perhaps we could swallow. And maybe what we do need to do is stand back away from Macron and Merkel's idea of a united Europe with an EU standing arm and all that. Step away from that, but for a jobs-first Brexit, when we're pulling in, we can still work economically with Europe, just not politically, because they've held us over the barrel ever since we've joined.
And that would be delivering part of it, certainly. Owen, thank you. Owen thinks she'll win, but doesn't want to, a bit like me. Melina in Basingstoke is a first-time caller. Good evening.
Hi, Nigel.
Welcome to the show. So, does Mrs May deserve to win? Is she going to win?
Well, my opinion is that she has taken on a sinking ship, and what she does every day, wakes up, does her absolute best, gets punched in the face, wakes up, does the same thing over and over again. I feel like she's put in 100% effort to make sure that everyone is happy. Being a politician, she's obviously going down the democratic route of making sure that the referendum is being honoured. But you can only please so many people, and I think people need to realise that. You know, it's just not a case of making everyone 100% happy, and she has done.
No, but But Melina, by trying to please everybody, maybe she's not given the kind of firm, direct leadership that we actually need, because she wants us to leave the European Union in terms of leaving the treaties, but sign ourselves back up to a very close relationship. I mean, this withdrawal agreement, we're not really leaving, Melina.
Well, you say that. You have people that, of course, want to remain for, for business, for all sorts of different things. And there's, again, you have people who want complete isolation from the EU. So, again, going down the middle is the best way to please everyone.
Well, I agree with your analysis that that's what she's tried to do, but there's something about this that to me feels dishonest. You know, when she stands up and says we're taking back control of our laws, our borders, our money, when clearly we're not, I have a real problem with it.
Well, what part? I don't understand where you think we're not taking control back of our borders if we restrict free movement. She has promised that we are going to close down.
I know.
That's part of the deal. So
I know that's her wish list to Father Christmas, just as taking back control of our laws is, because we're stuck inside something, and i.e. the customs union, that we can't leave voluntarily.
Nigel, I feel like the whole point of having this vote of no confidence is just restricting more negotiation around things people may not be happy with. By spending time on, trying to keep her position, where she was supposed to be in Dublin today, negotiating Northern Ireland with the backstop.
Melina,
she's spending time now focusing on this, and I just think that it's a betrayal from the party, to be honest.
Let me promise you something. She, in Brussels tomorrow night, however many capitals she's visited, is going to get diddly squat. They have got the withdrawal agreement in the bag. They're happy with it. Melina, listen, thank you for your call. I respect your point of view. Melina feeling that she's actually done her best to keep everybody on board. But, Abraham Lincoln once said, you try and please all of the people all of the time. You can't actually do it. Akil is calling from Wokingham, another first-time caller. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Nigel. How are you?
I am well. So, is she going to win?
Well, I think she's verging on taking strike of her 9 lives. I think she needs to go. I think she should have gone in the summer. But having said that, I think she'll probably just about scrape it with about a 170 odd votes. It's unfortunate, but we should have got her sacked in the summer. We should have had a real tough Brexiter to take on this job and deliver on the Brexit. Someone like Boris Johnson. And I would say, I'll sort of caveat that if she's undelivered, she's got split personalities within the Conservative government. Jeremy Corbyn as well, there's no confidence in him as well. His party's in disarray. And if you put it, if these guys were Premiership football managers, they would have been sacked months and months ago, and likewise with their backroom staff. So,
or running any commercial company. I think they should have been gone a long time ago. I mean, Akil, I'm with you. The moment was Chequers. That was the moment we realised that she was going to break virtually every single promise she'd made to us, whilst at the same time pretending at some point in the future she would keep her. And she should have gone then, and I have to say that I think many of the Tory Brexiteers have been really, really cowardly on this. You see, Akil, they put the party above everything, don't they?
That's it. They're not interested in us UK taxpayers whatsoever. They're not delivering on any of their promises. It's just chewing at each other's arms, really.
They may be in for a big shock next time they ask people like you to vote for them, mightn't they?
Yeah, no, fingers crossed. Yeah, well, let's
all right. Listen, thanks for your call. Let's go to Loughton. Speak to Stephen, a first-time caller. Hi, Stephen.
Hello, Nigel. Well, absolute pleasure to speak to you.
Good to have you on.
Unfortunately, I think she should have gone after the last election when she monumentally screwed that one up, but we are where we are. But the most worrying thing for me, Nigel, is when I watch the TV now, all we hear is the CBI's view, the Bank of England view. When I voted and I put my tick in the box, I never ever expected for anything to be hijacked by all these organisations. They were human beings. That 17.1 million people voted.
0.4.
Sorry, 17.4 million people voted. Those individuals, have now had have now been roughshod. It's subliminal. We've now been taken over by all these authorities, these official bodies. They've now taken over in the hope that they will fear us into, going back in. The whole human side of it has gone.
But you know what, Stephen? You're right, by the way, in what you're saying. They never stop campaigning. They keep on going. And it's not making an apith of difference. And what I'm seeing is the opinion of Leave voters now hardening significantly, with a massive percentage now of Leave voters saying, let's just leave. Whatever the terms, whatever the deal, we voted to leave. So, Stephen, overall, I believe firmly that the genie is out of the bottle. It's never going to put back. We are going to leave properly. It's just going to take us a lot longer than it should.
I hope you're right. I really do, Nigel. But unfortunately, people like me and many of the 17.4 million, unless there's a name like yours on the next ballot vote, I ain't never voting again. I'm finished.
No, Stephen, you are not alone. Thank you. Sky News reporting a total of 183 Tory MPs have told Sky News they are backing the PM. Well, I'm punting out 200. I haven't got a clue, really, but I'm punting out 200. I didn't feel today at any point that the rebellion got any real momentum behind it. Well, MPs are voting now. We'll find out within the next couple of hours what the result is going to be. You're listening to the Nigel Farage Show here on LBC. It's now 6:30 and time for the news with Lisa Aziz.
Conservative MPs are voting on whether they want Theresa May to stay on as party leader. They have until 8 tonight to cast their secret ballots, prompted by some unhappy at the way she's handled the Brexit negotiations. The Work and Pension Secretary Amber Rudd says the Prime Minister addressed the 1922 committee earlier, saying she wouldn't lead them into the next election. Health Secretary Matt Hancock was also there and says he supported Mrs May.
She said that in her heart she'd love to fight the next election, but she knows that she can't. And she was quite emotional about that.
The results expected around 9 p.m. Stay with LBC. Donald Trump's former lawyer has been jailed for 3 years. Michael Cohen's sentence is for crimes including tax evasion, lying to Congress and hush money payments. The US leaders described him as a liar. LBC weather, cloudy and windy overnight across Northern Ireland, the southwest of England as well. A few showers though elsewhere, a low of 3 degrees.
Follow the fallout of the May confidence vote with Nick Ferrari at breakfast. Tomorrow morning from 6 on LBC.
Why are we so drawn to the sea? Where does it take you? Discovering distant shores with hidden treasures? Dining and dancing your way across calm waves? And indulgent service on board Queen Mary too. Escape the everyday, every day. Discover more at cunard.com.
If you're expecting unexpected guests this Christmas, pop down to Tesco, because chilled party food is 3 for the price of 2. That's everything from duck spring rolls to Tesco finest tempura prawns. So you'll be prepared for everything and everyone. However you do Christmas, everyone's welcome at Tesco. Cheapest item free, selected stores while stocks last, ends 1st of January.
Daddy! When a child loses a toy, it can feel like the end of the world. So imagine how it feels for a child to lose their childhood. Right now, in the world's poorest communities, children are in danger of becoming enslaved as labourers, soldiers, and even brides. Sponsor a child with World Vision and you'll help a community keep its children safe. Find out more at worldvision.org.uk/childhood. Childhood is sacred. Help us protect it.
It's time. Time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. With stunning HD video, crisp audio, and instant wireless sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
Thank you for your business loan application, Mr.
Myers.
Ah, yes, Myers, of course. I'll have to pass this on to the Director of Hesitation.
The what?
Who will then send it to the Red Tape Committee. Where the President of Procrastination will then have...
Luckily, business loans from iWalker come without the tribulation. No wait, no faff, and a decision when you need it. See how we can help your business at iWalker. That's iwoca.co.uk. iWalker. Hassle-free loans for small businesses.
This Christmas, gather the whole family around to enjoy Sky Cinema for an extra £10. The Greatest Showman, Peter Rabbit, and over 1,000 movies on demand in stunning HD, ready on your command. Love Christmas classics? We've got movies for you, from The Santa Claus to Home Alone 2. And 'tis not a problem if you're naughty or nice. Sky Cinema's an extra £10 a month, a truly splendid price. Simply search Sky Cinema. New 18-month contract, Sky TV required from £22 a month. Kit loaned at no cost. Further terms apply.
Escape the everyday, every day. With a little extra from us. Discover more at cunard.com.
This is LBC, the Nigel Farage Show. Call 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Tweet at LBC using the hashtag Farage on LBC.
Tory MPs are voting. It's the motion of no confidence in the Prime Minister. I'm pretty confident that she will win, not least of which because about 130 of them are actually on the government's payroll. Does help. Steve is bemused. He says, why will they not get rid of her? I don't understand. Party loyalty, old boy. That's what they say. It's the best deal on the table and all the rest of it. What does Gary in Blackpool make of it? Good evening, Gary.
Good evening, Nigel. 2 years since we last spoke. I'm 100% Brexiteer, but
Right.
I hope Mrs. May wins tonight, because I think she's got a cunning baldrick plan up her sleeve.
Oh, no. Go on then, Gary. Tell us.
And that is to stall and stall and stall until we do get our straight out with no deal. And it's too late for the Leavers to do anything.
Do you know, Gary...
sorry, for the Remainers to do anything about it.
Gary, if I believed that was the case, I would be over the moon. But when her own Chancellor says today that Brexiteers are extremists, Gary, it's a lovely fantasy, and I'll leave you with that happy thought as Christmas is approaching. Thanks, Gary. Thanks for coming back. Now... I'm coming off air at 7. Coming on air is Ian Dale. The vote's open from 6 till 8, and the result is going to come at some point, I think, at about 9 o'clock. And Ian is live down on College Green in Westminster. Ian, are you with us?
I am with you. It's very, very, very cold here. My hands can't even type, Nigel.
No, I mean, 317, I think, MPs are eligible to vote in this today. Why does it take 2 hours for them to vote?
Well, they might have other things to do, I suppose. I mean, there's only one ballot box, apparently, so they can only do it one at a time. I think the more pertinent question is why does it take them an hour to count 317?
No, I was moving on to that question. And I'm assuming the bars are fairly busy now in Westminster. Ian, what sort of margin of victory... Well, I would. What sort of margin of victory would you anticipate?
I've actually resisted making any predictions today, but for you, Nigel, my instinct is that there will be 80 to 100 Conservative MPs vote against Theresa May, which automatically means that there won't be 80 to 100 that vote against her. It could be more than that, because we do know that the Conservative Parliamentary Party is the most duplicitous electorate in the whole country. I said to Eddie that there are a couple of cabinet ministers I'm pretty sure will have voted against her, and yet they've been touring all of the broadcast studios here on College Green protesting their utter loyalty. I'm sure you've had a few of those in your time that did that as well.
I know all about the phenomenon, I
think that if there are 120 to 130 that vote against her, I think that's pretty serious for her. But do I think she's going to quit? No, I don't.
No, absolutely. Ian, we'll all look forward to listening later on to the results live on your show. Ian will be there. The results will be with you. I'm off to Hertfordshire to speak to Jeff, a first-time caller. Welcome, Jeff.
Hello, Nigel. Right. Now, I think there's very little doubt she's going to win. She doesn't deserve to, but I think she's done her absolute best to negotiate us as far into the EU as she possibly can, so that we'll never ever be able to get out or have any control or any say of anything. And I think in that she's been very successful.
Do you mean, Jeff, are you telling me that she's willfully deceived Brexiteers?
Well, I think most of Parliament has been deceiving everybody. I mean, they promised to do one thing, and they've now done the total opposite. Yeah. Now, I haven't actually read the withdrawal agreement, but I've heard bits and pieces about it, and one of the most worrying things is that even if they were to remove the whole backstop, we still aren't allowed to negotiate with anybody. If the deal we make with another country is better than the EU have got.
That's what they've tried to write in. Whether it's enforceable remains to be seen. Jeff, the real point is, even if the backstop was binned tomorrow, it's a rubbish agreement because we're giving away 40 to 60 billion quid.
It's not an agreement at all. It's an abject. It's an unconditional surrender.
Well, I have to say, Jeff, we are behaving, she is behaving like the leader of a country that's been defeated in warfare. I agree with you completely. Jeff, what does all this mean? Assuming she wins and continues, what does all this mean for the Conservative Party?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that that Corbyn will be taking over, and if he gets in, there'll be nothing left of the country for anybody else to do anything with.
On that cheery note, Jeff, I'm going to move on. Paul on Facebook says, if she wins, there will be unrest like you've never seen before. Well, I'm not so sure about that. We're not French. Unhappiness, distrust, yes. Unrest, I'm not sure. Danny in Folkestone is another first-time caller. Welcome, Danny.
Hello, Nigel.
Hi there.
Hello.
So,
yeah, I agree with you, Nigel. I think she's gonna win this year.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that the votes come now, these Brexiteers, I think have just managed to drum up enough support. So I think they fear that the Labour is going to get the no confidence vote in first. And there might have been a bit more.
That was being talked about.
The uncertainty of that, you see.
Yeah, no, that was being. I mean, certainly yesterday on LBC we had a shadow Brexit minister suggesting that maybe before Santa comes. So you're right in that sense. The party got the letters in first, but if they're smashed 200, 100 tonight or something around about that number, what does that mean for the defeated Brexiteers?
Well, I think it makes her look good, doesn't it? I think it gives her, for the general public, I think it makes them feel like, oh, she's strong and they're all behind her. But deep down, I think that we all know what really the truth is.
Danny, if you were a Tory MP tonight, how would you have voted?
Oh, I'd have voted with my conscience. I would have voted get rid of her.
Right. Okay.
I mean, you can see the Home Office, the civil service fingers so deep into this now. It goes all the way to the media. You can see this. Even the Europeans, with the Yellow Jackets, hardly even mentioned all the other Yellow Jacket protests. I mean, it's about really. This has been from the start, really. You could look back at over all of it. You can see it's a play that's been acted out from day one, and to lead us into a general election where we've got no choice of the Leavers have got no choice of voting.
There's a lot of you out there, Danny. There's a lot of you out there think there's a lot of this has been planned. Danny, I thank you for your call. Janet says to me, she'll get back in because most of the Conservatives are Remainers. True. And they will back her because they couldn't stand a Leaver PM. Do you know, Janet, I think there's a lot of truth in that. I think a lot of middle-of-the-road, backbench Tory MPs who don't really believe in anything very much other than keeping their jobs, I think they'd really fear, a genuine Leaver Prime Minister. Doesn't go with their instincts. Peter in Liverpool is a first-time caller to the show, and he's welcome. Hi, Peter.
Hello, Nigel. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right, but Peter, I can't believe it took since Chequers in July until now to get 48 letters in, but hey.
Yeah, I mean, never really been into politics in a big way until the referendum, and me and my wife we sat on the fence a little bit when it was the referendum was going on. But God, I'm a massive Brexiteer now, like looking at everything after watching yourself and everything, and it's quite intriguing. But the way I look at it on the news and everything else and looking at it now, I think all those people that voted again for this withdrawal agreement, I can't look at them the same again in politics because it's just disgusting going against our country, I think.
I mean, is it? Like, do you feel, Peter?
For me,
do you feel it's a breach of promise?
Oh my God, yeah. I just think it's so treacherous. I think it's disgusting. I don't know how they can stay in government after that. I really don't see how they can stay in after doing such going against the country because why would you ever want to hand power over to Europe and to
I've
Germany?
never, ever understood it. Peter, when you voted in the referendum, was that your first vote for some time?
No, we didn't vote. We sat on the fence. We didn't.
Right. You didn't vote. Right. So it was after the referendum you became engaged. Right. Okay. Okay.
The thing is that everyone in my circle, everyone who we talk to in Liverpool, everyone who I know, are all the same. They're all massive Brexiteers. And then you hear like a Liverpool rap come on and something will sound like...
Peter, I tell you what, one day we'll get there. One day. Not in a hurry, though. Thank you. I'm going back to Theo Usherwood, LBC's political editor for Breaking News. Hi, Theo.
Good evening, Nigel. Yes, I'm just on the corridor outside Committee Room 14, and this is working a little bit like a house of horrors, Nigel. MPs, Conservative MPs, walking through the MPs' entrance into Committee 14, Committee Room 14, casting their vote, and then coming out of the public entrance. Dominic Raab, the former Brexit secretary, came out, gave a shrug of the shoulders as he walked back down towards the Speaker's office. David Davis has just left, as well as Greg Clark, the former business secretary. Jeremy Hunt, foreign secretary, has also been in. So there's been a steady flow throughout this evening. We're trying to catch word on how it's looking. I've spoken to one whip, actually, who said that it's looking comfortable, in his view, for Theresa May this evening. So we should get the vote at around 8:30 tonight.
Around 8:30. Theo, thank you. And Michael Crick from Channel 4 News tweets, there are a few drinks parties going on. One of the tellers told me they expect quite a few late arrivals. Well, they've only got 15 minutes. And I have to tell you what, if they arrive at 8:05 because they've been at a drinks party, wouldn't look good. MPs are voting. The polls are open till 8. Theo Usherwood, LBC's political editor, tells us they now expect the result perhaps as early as 8:30. But for now, you're listening to the Nigel Farage Show here on LBC. It's 6:45 and time for the news headlines with Lisa Aziz.
Conservative MPs are voting in a secret ballot on Theresa May's leadership after she told them she wouldn't take the party into the next election. It's understood she has the support of more than 180 MPs. She needed 159 to stay on as Prime Minister. President Trump's former lawyer has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for crimes including tax evasion, lying to Congress and arranging payments to women who posed a risk to the 2016 campaign. LBC weather. Cloudy and windy overnight across Northern Ireland and the southwest of England. A few showers elsewhere, a low of 3 degrees.
LBC Travel, I'm Katie Tyler. There are queues on the M11 northbound from Junction 5 for Loughton to Junction 7 for Harlow because of an accident. It's stop-start on the A2 eastbound from Dartford Heath to the Bean interchange after an accident as well. And it's struggling on Lea Bridge Road. That's eastbound between the Lea Bridge roundabout and the Baker's Arms in Walthamstow because of roadworks taking place. A lane is currently closed northbound on Vauxhall Bridge because of an accident causing delays. And there are queues on the A3 northbound approaching the Wisley interchange because of an accident. The road is partially blocked.
This is LBC.
This Christmas at the perfume shop, we have the perfect gifts for that someone special. Like Marc Jacobs Divine Decadence. Only £36.99 for a 50ml, saving £32 off the RRP while stocks last. Our expert staff will be able to gift wrap your purchase for free, only at the perfume shop. Offer ends 13th of December.
Now's the time to discover that great gift you've been looking for at watchshop.com. You'll see 10,000 top brand watches at great prices, like Hugo Boss, Tommy Hilfiger, and Casio. You'll also come across our latest Christmas offers, as well as noticing you'll get free next day delivery on orders over £60. So there's never been a better time to find the perfect gift at watchshop.com. Offer ends 23rd of December, excludes smartwatches. Orders placed Saturday will be delivered Monday. Terms and conditions apply.
Ocean Credit Card.
Every day and every hour.
Ocean Credit Card.
We're helping someone else
Ocean Credit Card.
to see if they'll be accepted for an Ocean Credit Card.
Ocean Credit Card.
Why can't it be you? Go now to ocean.co.uk.
Ocean Credit Card.
39.9% APR representative variable. Intelligent Lending Limited is a credit broker. Capital One is the exclusive lender.
As the Champions League group stages come to a close, there's still a lot to play for. How many English teams will still be there come the last 16? Who'll finish top and give themselves a favourable draw? And which of Europe's elite will be consigned to the Europa League? Your gut says there'll be casualties, and your smarts say whatever happens, Betfair has had the best odds on the Champions League. Betfair, where gut instinct meets smarts.
Data provided by TXRs and BetRadar based on Betfair Sportsbook average match odds over round since 1st of January 2018 compared to leading UK bookmakers. Full terms at betfair.com, 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
It's time. Time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. With stunning HD video, crisp audio, and instant wireless sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
Leading Britain's conversation, The Nigel Farage Show. Tweet at LBC using the hashtag Farage on LBC.
As we speak, Tory MPs are having their say. They're voting because 48 letters went in and this motion of confidence is being decided right now. Polls close at 8. We're expecting the results here on LBC at around about 8:30 this evening. Is she going to win? Well, I think we're all agreed she probably is. Does she deserve to win? And how would you vote if you were a Conservative MP? I'm going to ask Anna in Potters Bar. Anna, you're going into Committee Room 14. How are you going to vote?
Got to go. That's it. She's definitely got to go. I mean, when this morning, I thought, like you, the sun was shining.
Yes.
And then, funny enough, I then read Owen Patterson's letter, and that just hit it for me. It reminded me of all the times she'd lied to us. I mean, he was really quite cutting how he went on about how he tried to explain to her the other methods of technology that we could use for the backstop in Northern Ireland. And he described it as being blatantly ignored. And I thought, well, why? Why is she ignoring this Northern Ireland, ex-Northern Ireland secretary as it was? Who should have, who's got the experience, who was the secretary for the Northern Ireland. I mean, you couldn't get anyone more qualified. And all the items that he was saying in his letter, which is up on Twitter now, which just reminded me just how she's just constantly lied to the electorate. And
do you know,
Anna,
really it's a very strong word to use. But Anna, I have to say, she says one thing and does another over and over and over and seems somehow to get away with it. And she's going to get away with it tonight, Anna, isn't she?
I have to say, I think that's what's going to come of this vote tonight. But can I just make a point that
Go on.
I have a horrible gut feeling, prediction inside me that says that this is all going to go terribly wrong. If only those MPs had a backbone, had a spine to sort of change direction here for the good of the people. The majority of us out there want to leave peacefully and orderly, and the way that she's going around it is just because of a few members of her in her part, 3 MPs obviously are very, as I would call them, radicalised. In their, they've obviously blinkered to where they want to leave. I mean, it's just disgusting, and I'm disgusted with my MP as well because he told me he was going to support this deal, and I put it to him: how can you support a deal that's going to basically annex part of our precious union away? To which I got no reply, and I'm really disappointed with him. And now today he announced that he was going to support the Prime Minister again, letting his constituents
But Anna,
down.
you don't matter. You're just one of the 17.4 million people. That's what they think. I can tell from your tone, your local MP's not heard the last few. Anna, thanks. Great call. Up to Aberdeen. Speak to Peter, a first-time caller. Welcome, Peter.
Yeah, hello, Nigel. How you doing, mate?
Welcome. So would she have your support, Peter, or would you be a no
Yeah,
lobby?
she would. Yeah, I would support Theresa May. She's got a very, very difficult job on her hands. She's had very little support. We are a united kingdom. Why are we not standing united against Brussels, laying down the law and telling them, this is what we're doing, this is what you're going to get? And why, Nigel, were you not there at those negotiations?
Oh, well,
Peter,
I volunteered to help. I wasn't wanted. But, Peter, my problem is this. I agree with you. We should be united in many ways on doing this.
Yeah,
I also firmly believe, right from the start, This should have been a cross-party campaign, and we should have had people from business and trade unionists and all sorts of people trying to have some input, trying to make this work. I've always believed in that. But Peter, my problem but my problem is this, all right, that this Prime Minister, frankly, hasn't been straight with us. Because rather than trying to get us out of aspects of European Union, she's trying effectively to get us back into much of it, and that really gets my goat.
To suit, instead of sticking to a hard rule and saying, this is what we're doing, this is what the 17 million people want, this is where we're going to go.
So she's gone wrong, Peter, hasn't she?
We have weakened our position by being a divided nation.
Listen,
and we've done it to Brussels.
I don't doubt that, and I also don't doubt that the Remain campaign, the constant negativity of the Remain campaign, the constant calling for a second referendum, has actually, in many ways, encouraged Brussels to be as tough as they can.
Totally. We're a laughing stock.
We are. Do you know what? We are.
We're now a laughing stock.
We have been internationally humiliated with this Prime Minister at the helm. It probably is our biggest humiliation since Suez, way back in the 1950s. Peter, thank you. I'm off to Belsize Park to speak to Antonio, another first-time caller. Welcome, Antonio.
Thank you, Nigel. It's a very big pleasure to speak to you.
Pleasure to speak to you. Now, Antonio, problems all over Europe. European summit tomorrow. Massive arguments between the Italians and the French are going to go on. And yet, the Prime Minister is going to go and beg, and she's going to be given 3/5 to 5/8 of almost nothing. I'm certain of that. Do you think she deserves the continued support of Conservative MPs?
I definitely do not think she deserves the support, but I do think she is going to get the votes. But in my opinion, I think she should just step down with her head held high and some sorts of reputation intact, because everything she's promised on the manifesto is not going to be delivered, as you have mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion anyway.
But she seems incredibly obstinate, Antonio, doesn't she?
She does, but I really don't think, she keeps insisting that we have to deliver for the people who voted leave, but there is nothing to deliver. I say just quit, call it quit, and that's it. Finish.
Do you know what? That is increasingly how the vast majority of Leavers are feeling. We've had enough of this process and a weak Prime Minister. Antonio, thank you. Martin says, I'm getting ready to cut up my Tory membership card and will never vote again. Trouble is, Martin, if you never vote again, they have won. You are, a victory for the establishment, and that cannot be a good thing. Diana says, I think it should be the people voting, not the Remainers. Well, yeah, and certainly amazing, isn't it? I mean, isn't it remarkable that the Chancellor of the Exchequer today described people who want to uphold the Conservative manifesto of last year as extremists? Disgusting, in my view. I wonder what Jenny in Golders Green, a first-time caller, makes of that. Good evening, Jenny.
Hi, good evening, Nigel. I'm just really surprised that a Remainer could have run the country and brought the country into a Brexit, because quite obviously, if she was a Remainer, she wasn't going to actually fight for a proper Brexit, and that was quite obvious to me from the start.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure why this was allowed.
Well, it just happened. I mean, Boris was the front runner, and then Mr. Gove thought he wasn't appropriate, and then he withdrew, and then there was going to be a contest, and then there wasn't going to be a contest, and there was a coronation of a Remainer. And Jenny, the thing that really gets me is even this week, when she talked about her job as Prime Minister, she said it was her duty to deliver Brexit. And I want someone that actually believes in Brexit.
Well, she certainly doesn't, and I believe she's done everything she could clandestinely to destroy it. And the way she's going through with it is, it's not a proper Brexit.
No,
and
I agree.
It's just going to actually be a mess. And I believe it's a deep state, as what's going on in America, and they're connected to the EU. It goes much deeper than just a little, what she's doing and what's going on,
deep state or big money interests or career politics, whatever it is happening. My last caller this evening is going to be Dave from Dunblane, a first-time caller to the show. Welcome, Dave.
Hello there, sir.
So you are, and by the way, we've got news that 2/3 of Conservative MPs have voted so far. We're just over an hour to go. So let's imagine, Dave, you're walking up that corridor, about to go through the door. How would you vote?
I certainly would vote against her.
Right.
Definitely vote against her.
Because?
This woman has led us all up the garden path. You saw Sir Bill Cash recently in the House of Commons standing up and lambasting her for telling lies and misleading people. She said there would be no snap elections. She had a snap election. She actually said she came up to Scotland and went all over the country. Another lie. She spent a couple of hours up here. She cannot be believed, Nigel.
Do you know what, Dave? That of its... I mean, I don't think you need to say any more. I agree with you. I don't believe a word she says. Thank you, Dave. But she is going to win. It'll be a comfortable majority. She won't put this deal to the vote next week because she's not going to have a majority, but she'll limp on as Prime Minister. I'll be back tomorrow evening at the European Summit from 6 o'clock. At 10 tonight, it's Tom Swarbrick. Up next, live on Cottage Green, it's Ian Dale.
Thank you very much, Nigel. Well, it's been a day of high drama and melodrama here at Westminster.